Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel and welcome to another video. A fun experiment today, or well, at least I did a fun experiment last week on April 6th. That's 2 weeks ago for you. I ran a discount, a sale on all my existing games that are currently available and still maintained on Steam, iOS, Android and Switch. Some of these games are a decade old. Think about that. Some of these games were made 10 years ago and have been selling for 10 years now, and we're gonna dive into the numbers. Don't expect huge numbers, but still it's very interesting. I'm also gonna talk about the reasoning why you should do discounts on your game, especially if you're a small developer or a small team. Let's dive into some of those things, but I'll also dive into the numbers. I haven't really checked, roughly checked, but I'm not sure of the exact numbers. We're gonna find out together. That should be interesting, and hopefully it will be fun for me. Unless, I mean, it can't be negative, so there should be positive numbers. We're gonna find out after the intro. So the main reasons for running a discount, and this is gonna be very obvious, is to make money. It's not a filthy or dirty word. It's literally what you want to do as a game developer, make money so that you can continue making games or supporting the existing games. So running a discount will give a little bump in sales, especially if you do it on all platforms, if you do it with the right games and the right percentages at the right time. The right time is always a difficult thing, but there's always going to be a little bump in revenue, and that's one of the things you want to do. A lot of people don't buy games full price, and personally on PlayStation, games at 60 or 70 euros, I don't really buy them. I wait maybe 1, 2 years, 3 years time. They will eventually get on a sale somewhere, or a holiday sale. I'll buy them for $10 or $15. And it's not that I don't think these games aren't worth the $60 or $70. I know how expensive AAA games are, or not exactly, but I have an idea how expensive they are to be made. But for me, it's not worth it for the time I put into a game. I'll just happily wait for a discount. And that's why you should discount your games to reach those people that simply don't buy it full price. It will also improve your brand, your name. Discounts on certain platforms, we'll get into that, will be picked up by either bots on Twitter, certain websites do it, things like that, or even on Steam, people that wishlisted your game will get an email if your game goes on discount. There are many reasons to do those discounts and get your name out there again and remind people that you're there and that they still wanted to pick up a game but haven't. Well, this is the right time, it's now on discount, it's on sale. Get it now. And because of these bots and all these emails, you're also reaching people outside of your social media bubble. You can post about your game on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, TikTok, whatever you want, but you're only reaching the people that already know you and follow you. Every now and then you can use a hashtag and maybe get new people to follow you. But when you do discounted sales, these bots and these websites that pick these things up, they have a very different audience than you have. So you are reaching out to new people that hopefully will find your games, like your games, and start buying your games, and maybe even at full price when your next game launches. So it's brand building, audience building, a little bump in revenue, and reaching those people that didn't want to buy your game at first when it was full price, or couldn't because it was just too expensive for them. So the games I've been discounting, like I said at the beginning, some of these are a decade old. Gunslugs, Heroes of Loot, I made them in 2012 and 13. Stardash was on sale. I think I made that one in 2011. Some of the games are more recent. I didn't do the Heroes of Loot 2 on Switch because I just launched it in February. And I don't want to do a discount on a game that's just recently released because I don't think that's fair to people that do buy your games at full price and support you in that way. You shouldn't be discounting that game just a month or two later. For me, that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel fair. So in some months' time, it will get a discount at some point. But for now, it was too early. Residual wasn't in this either because there's a publisher there. That's just harder to do for me to do all the discounts. And some games weren't released on Switch yet, and some games aren't released on PC. So there's a mix of games here and there, but overall, most of these games were the same, discounted on each platform. And the discounts I gave, of course, they are various on different platforms. PC and Switch games are more expensive than iOS and Android games, even though it's pretty much the same game, but your gaming experience is different, the market is different. I still went for the 30 to 50% discount on all platforms, depending on the games and depending on the prices and how the systems are set up to do. On iOS there are tiers and you can't just do a percentage. Games are sold at $4.99, so you can do $2.99, $1.99, and that's it, or free is also an option, but you can't set percentages. So and on Android you can set a percentage, but then on some countries there are rules and laws to discounts. They have to be more than 50% or less than 50% or more than 20 or 30%, and the price can't be more than this or less than this. So for some countries there are some rules and exceptions, but overall same kind of discounts and the same kind of games. So we're just gonna dive into the numbers. I think we're gonna start with iOS because I got a feeling that's gonna be the worst one for discounts, but I'll get into that as we grab the numbers. Alright, so sale on iOS as expected, not a lot. You can see it's like $140. The spike April 6th was when the discount started, and sales were $73, but you can see there's a big difference with how my games were doing on iOS. The percentages, as you can see, huge increase because these games have been selling on iOS. The problem with iOS is that older games aren't picked up as quickly anymore as they are on Android, for example. I'm not sure what the difference is. It might just be how the App Store is curated and how older games are just not being brought under the attention of gamers or owners of an iPhone. But for some reason, discounts on iOS don't really do a lot. And I've seen this many times. This isn't the first time I'm doing this. I'm just showing it to you for the first time. But discounts on sales on iOS have just been pretty much like this. There's a small bump and it quickly dies off. That's usual on probably every platform, but the bump isn't very high. Still, we're talking about almost 300% extra sales compared to before the bump, and $140 in the week of the sales. It's not amazing, but it's also not terrible, and just for a week running a sale on all the games, I'm happy with it. Didn't expect a lot more. So on Android it's a little bit different. I don't really have the reports of every game here, but I do have simply the payouts and the totals. The total here is 492, which is almost 500 euros. This started on April 1st, so the first 5 days wouldn't count, but most of this comes from doing the sales. April 6th, first one is 120, 138 on April 7th, 115, 116. As you can see on Android, there's actually a considerable good amount of revenue every day. You also notice these negative ones, refunds, people refunding the game for whatever reason. It might not have run exactly as they wanted, might not have been what they wanted or thought it would be, or they just found a way to pirate it and download it, or buy it, download it somehow and refund it. Those type of things happen on Android. That doesn't happen on iOS, but overall, in this case, Android is still pretty good to do discounts. And again, these are mostly games that have been available for the last 10 years. The last Android or mobile game I released is Snake War. I released it in January 2020, so that's 2 years old now. So yeah, the youngest game on here that might have created some of this revenue is 2 years old. And there are reports that you can check how many sales every game has, but that's made up at the end of the month. So I don't have them for April yet, but this is really the only thing I care about. I don't have to split revenue, so I don't need to know for every game what every game does. I just need to know that total amount. So this is pretty much done in a week, 2 weeks, but as you can see, it already dropped back to about 20 euros on average on Android. That's why Android is still important for me. And this is all premium games. There's no in-app, no advertising. This is just premium games. So I'm very happy with Android. That's why I do a lot of sales and discounts on Android. It kind of makes sense to do them. So let's move on to Steam. So Steam is, it kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting $378. Of course, this is with the Steam 30%. So I'm pretty sure there's still 30% that goes to Steam. But still, you can see the spike here on April 6th, April 7th, time zones. That's when the US woke up, probably. So for me, that's April 7th. For them, it's April 6th. That's when the sale started. Bunch of spikes here and there. Percentages. Yeah, my Steam games aren't really selling a lot of copies without doing discounts. They are probably not showing up. That's a bunch of things I should be looking into when I have time to just improve on that, improve tags on all these games and things like that. But it's a lot of work, it's a lot of games, and that's why I haven't been doing it, because I'm also working on my new game, which has to be finished at some point. So this is why I would love to have somebody on board, but with this amount of money I can't really pay anybody. So yeah, it's over time I will improve on this. Working on changing some banners for the games here and there. I think that will make them look fresh, like people do in the book business. If a book goes into a second or a third print, you change the cover of the book, so people will see that book in the store. It's a different cover. What is this? Oh wait, I remember reading about this. Now we're gonna pick it up because it looks new, it looks different. If it looks the same every time you see it, at some point you're gonna be indifferent to it and you're not gonna pick it up at all. Anyway, on Steam you can see a very nice split. I wish all these platforms had this. Well, Apple had it as well, but Android is lacking this. There's a lot of files you can download, reports and data, but I just want to see this, like a simple table. Space Grunts did pretty well. Heroes of Loot 2, Space Grunts 2, Gunslugs 3, which is good because that game still needs to do much better than it did. Snake Core, Heroes of Loot, older game Gunslugs, $21 for a game that's been a decade old, or more than a decade now. Not bad. So that's Steam. That leaves us with one last one, Switch. The Switch has a bit of a different system. I'm not going to show too much of this because, well, there's not a lot there you can see, except we sold 65 copies. I'm saying we because, of course, Switch revenue I share and split with Serious Lion on the Discord, who does the porting for me to consoles. 65 units. Prices range from 10, 7, 11.99, but it's all in different currency. Yeah, it's fun to check, and you can do a ballpark kind of estimate, especially based on euros. Most sales will be euros and dollars, so let's say 65 times 6 probably, and it's very early in the morning, so that's about $390, of course divided by 2, about $200 each. Not bad, to be honest. Again, 3 or 4 days discount on top of the normal revenue. Yeah, I'm not unhappy with it. And again, Stardash, that's this game, I made it in 2011. It's now available on the Switch, besides the PC version, iOS, Android. So yeah, there's so many Stardash sold. It's still a lot of fun, this game. And I'm just happy people still get to buy and play it and enjoy the game. So I never thought that when I created Stardash it would still be kicking around 12 years later, or 11 or 12 years later. Pretty amazing, pretty awesome. That's why we're doing discounts and why we're doing sales. A lot of numbers, a lot of data in this video, but I hope you enjoyed it, because that's the last platform I have data on. Why are you jiggling, camera? And that's a little look into the numbers, pretty much. One question might pop up: how much do you discount your games? Honestly, I have no clue. There's probably some science behind it. Obviously, the first discount you don't want to go very deep, like 80%. you want to slowly increase that percentage, start at 10 or 20, 15. I just wing it and just come up with something, especially on the older games. I mean, there's nothing to lose for me doing discounts on games that are a decade old. For example, on October the 30th, I might go for 46% based on my age. That's my birthday. I'll be 36. As a present, here's 46% discount on all my games. Perhaps, I don't know, but that's pretty much how I do it. I might feel very good about something, or there might be a holiday, vacation or whatever, and I go with 70%. And sometimes I just want a little discount just in between things, and I'll go with like 20 or 30 again. It is possible to track discounts on games, and some sites do that and some people do it. So they might have seen it on 80% discount. Now they're waiting for 90 and then it's suddenly 20. Yeah, sorry, I don't really look into those things and care about those things. Get the game if you really want to play it and support your developers. And that's how I look at discounts. This is a way for me to give my games away a little bit cheaper than normal, but hopefully gain new fan base, new community. That's why I do my discounts, and of course to bump up my revenue a little bit, because it does work. As you can see, especially Android, Steam did pretty well. Switch, it does some, but not a lot. It doesn't really show up. Maybe at a very deep discount. I haven't done those on Switch yet, so maybe 80-90% discount. Haven't done that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that. I find that a very deep discount, but perhaps it does work if you do it for a week or so. A lot of people will notice the game and pick it up, and maybe then also check out your other games. That's how these things work, or that's at least the thing we are trying to do with this. Here's a game, you can get it very cheap. We got a lot of other games, get them at the full price. Of course, this time I just did a big discount on all games for just 3 or 4 days, very short, but most of the sales come from the first day, especially on iOS and on PC. On Android it lasts a little bit longer, so sometimes I do a week-long sale. You just have to figure out a bit how you want to do it, how long will you do it, and figure out the percentages and things like that. And it's a lot of fun to figure out and to do, and of course you got something to post about on social media. You don't have to write to press, they don't really pick up these type of things, and that's discounting games. Hope this was informative. If you have questions about this, or if you have other topics you want me to cover in these videos, because I'm doing a couple of other videos besides my devlogs. So if you got some topics, drop them in the comments below, or drop by on the Discord. Come play our little game on Discord that everybody can join in. And of course, great conversations and a lot of fun there. So I'll see you there, or see you next week in the next video. I'm fine with it. Either way, it's fine with me. I'm gonna go work on Regulator City. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.